Okay, let's finish up part two of the 12 red flags, or maybe they're like pink flags. Whatever they are, they warn you that something's about to go wrong. And a lot of you don't really recognize these behaviors and attitudes as being something that warrants a second look or actually leaving the situation altogether. It's really unfortunate because with women, we get two messages, right? First, we get the message, well, you need to give people a chance. You shouldn't be so rigid in your ideals. You have this checklist. No man can meet that list, that standard. It's unrealistic. Your standards are too high. You this and that. Okay, so, you listed that. You're single. You're tired of being single. So you like, okay, what can I do to maybe open this door a little bit so that I include more people, right? We're not saying you just open it wide and just let everybody in, but you want to broaden your options, right? You want to increase your options. So you do, and then you get this dude, and maybe somebody that you really wouldn't have dealt with a year or so ago, but now you're more open because, like I said, you're tired of being by yourself. And sure enough, though, as soon as you relax those standards, you let somebody in, you give somebody a chance, and it blows up in your face. What do you hear? Oh, you should have chose better. You, you're not vetting people right. You're just too naive. You're just wrong. You just take anybody. So it's like, okay, if you say that you don't want to deal with certain types of men, then you need to stick to that. And if you feel like you have standards that are reasonable and that, if the guy meets him, that you'll be very happy in the relationship, be very happy to commit to him, then that's what you need to do and not really worry about all these other people, what they have to say. So let me move on. Let's see, where do we leave off? We left off at point 6. So now we're at number 7. Number 7, you feel out of control in the relationship. Now, what does that mean? That means that he's putting a bum rush on you. He's calling you, texting you, wanting to see you all the time. It's like what they call a whirlwind courtship. He's really pressuring you for commitment. That's what they typically do. They want you to commit to them. And, you are kind of hesitant. Well, no, you're very hesitant because you feel like you don't really know this guy well enough yet. You have questions. You need answers. You need, solutions. You want history. You want information before you make a decision to commit to this guy. But he's not really giving you that. And a lot of times, though, when you are one of the women who are very lonely, or you feel like you're nothing without a man, or you just tired of being by yourself, all your friends have somebody, you're the only one that's single, you always feel like a third wheel, those might be motivations to make you be more receptive to this kind of attention and this kind of whirlwind courting kind of behavior. And what he's really trying to do is keep you dizzy and off your feet so that you don't have time to think. He doesn't want you to have time to think, to ask questions and say, look at the situation that is, for what it is, and to kind of say, well, wait a minute, your stories ain't matching up, home skillet, things like that. They don't want you to have time to do that. So they put all this pressure on you and move things along very, very quickly, so that you end up in a situation with somebody that you really shouldn't have been with had you been given the time or took the time yourself to really think about what he was saying, what he was doing, what was going on. Check in with yourself about how you feel, that kind of stuff. He keeps you so off balance that you get caught up in it without really thinking about the things that you need to be thinking about. That's the bottom line. And that is a red flag. If you have a guy who's trying to do that to you and he's not giving you time to think and just go along at your own pace, that's a red flag and you need to like back away very, very quickly. So let's move on to point number 8 on my list of 12 things. You have a relationship with him, okay, and maybe you know about it. Your best friend might know about it. Don't nobody else know about it though. It's a secret. It's a secret. Sometimes they even had these secrets at work. Oh, we can't tell nobody. Or they had them at church. Y'all doing all kind of fornicating and stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. But because of that, he convinces you to keep it a secret. So the pastor and all the people that don't know. And of course, he's doing the same thing with 4 or 5 other sisters up in the church too. And all y'all keeping a secret. These are the guys who, when you go on a date, say you live in Oakland, because I had a guy try this with me, and it was a one-date wonder. We both lived in Oakland at the time, and it's everything in the world in Oakland. You don't need to go nowhere else to go on a date. Why does clown want to drive out to Dublin to go to the movies? It's a nice movie theater right downtown Oakland, right? I'm like, why are we coming all the way out here? I mean, it was his gas in his car, so I really wasn't tripping that way. But it just made me feel suspicious. Like he didn't want to run into nobody. Somebody that he was actually dealing with, he didn't want to take a chance of running into anybody that he knew or that might know her. That's what was my gut feeling. And my gut is usually never wrong. I was like, I've never had it be wrong yet when I tune in and pay attention to it. So you got to do, you always want to date inside your house because you can't go to his house. So he want to come to your house all the time. Or he always wants to go to these oddball places, not a place where a lot of people are people that might see you and know you or know him. Don't know his relatives know about you. His kids don't know about you. Nobody knows. It's a secret. Now, if you are in a situation like that, what does that tell you? You better figure that out. Because a man who really is proud of being with you and who wants the world to know that he got a really nice lady is not going to be trying to hide you into dark corners and recesses of the world and the neighborhoods and all out in the suburbs and stuff like that. Okay, so you need to think about that. Number 9, he calls you out of your name. He calls you names. Now, some of you might be used to this. And I have found a lot of women are used to being verbally abused. So to them, this is kind of normal. I don't like it. You don't call me nothing. It's not like sweetie, honey, darling, angel, and I don't even really like all that. Just call me by my name. But when they want to say, oh, you a dummy, you stupid, okay, big head, bubble butt, thunder thighs, all these little things, that are meant to make you feel self-conscious or unattractive, to demean and degrade and malign you in some kind of way, even though he may say it's fun. Okay, do you see anybody laughing here, clown? Who's laughing? You? Okay, you need to take your show into the shower where other people who can't sing and tell your jokes in there where you might get a laugh or two. Maybe it'll sound better in there. But in reality, this is a guy he's just trying to do this little abuse stuff on the sly and see what you let him get away with. And, they'll do it even when they're not angry. But my dad always told me that one of the best things to do when you first start dating a dude is to piss him off, right? To see how he handles his anger. And that's usually when it comes out, right? They get mad and they want to start calling you all kind of names or throwing stuff and, punching holes and stuff, punching things, stomping around, getting in your face all threateningly and stuff like that. That you do not for 1 second stay with a man who talks to you like that or who treats you like that or he behaves like that. Because now he's punching the couch, he's punching something else. The next thing he's going to be doing is punching you. And you guys want to say, oh, well, he was just upset. He was upset. And, I just don't take that seriously. A lower level of this kind of degrading is, okay, you're talking, right? You guys are in a crowd, you're on a group date or you with some other people, right? And you're saying something. This is him. or he's this kind of thing. Basically what he's doing is trying to impress these other people that you're stupid, and he's just going along with it. So he's thinking that he's making points with them. What he's really doing is being very dismissive and cruel to you. Now you see that, of course you're going to get upset, but what you going to do about it? See, with me, you got one time. Your eyes better not roll nowhere. Okay, your lips better not pop. You better not be looking stupid. You say anything, you make any weird hand gestures, anything, I'm the fuck up out of there. And that's it. It's over. Because I already know that if you feel that comfortable doing something like this early on, it's not going to do anything but get worse. Okay? And Deb does not do abusive relationships of any sort. By the time I figure out that that's what you're trying to do, I'm out. There's no explanation. There's no conversation. There's no apologies that you can give me that's going to change my mind. There's nothing I want to hear from you except for the door slamming as you go through it. That's all I want to hear that's connected with you. So, anyway, whatever is his little tactic is just designed to make you feel bad and make you, feel more vulnerable and weak. And that's what they want, because that way it makes you more, makes you easier to manipulate and control. And he gets to see how much power he has over you and how much you're going to take, how much BS you're going to take from him. Number 10, you have a guy who dismisses your feelings. Now, some of the worst ones are the ones who they do something right or they say something to you. And you're like, that hurt my feelings. I didn't like that, this and that. Oh, that didn't hurt your feelings. He says, okay, so what? Now you in my body and you know what I feel better than me? Or something hurts, pain, you experience pain. Now, on your fingertips, on your hands and stuff, that's where the most nerve endings are. So that's why paper cuts will send you to the moon and make you cry for your mama and stuff, because all the nerve endings that are there. Whereas if you got that same cut like on your arm or thigh or something, you just look at it. But if it's on your fingertip or something, man, that stuff will have you jumping all around. And so, you burn yourself in the kitchen, you cut yourself or something, and here he is. You're like, oh my God, this really hurts. You just exaggerating all the time. That don't hurt. So you see what I'm saying? This is a person who thinks they have more power and know more about your body than you do. This is a person who refuses to acknowledge your emotional state because it's not what he wants to hear. This is a person who is going to repeatedly hurt you and then tell you that you're not hurt and that, you're making it up. Y'all better understand what time it is when you see these kind of things. You don't connect these little dots to the big picture. A man who would tell you some stuff like that and just dismiss your pain, your injury, your heartache, anything about what you're feeling, and it's something that happened to you, or even worse, something he did to you. What are you doing? How is that a relationship? How is that somebody who's providing you with support and, being there for you emotionally? He don't want to hear it. You can't have any emotions other than ones he wants you to have. And he will tell you what those are. So you don't get to tell him what you feel. He's going to tell you what you feel. Okay? Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but that would not fly with Deborah. And number 11, he has what I call a Bruce Banner Hulk personality. Some people call this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I think it's worse than that. I call it Bruce Banner because you know how he mild and meek he was, and then how the Hulk went crazy. Okay, that's what I call it. And so, he's like warm and funny and he's affectionate. And then one minute, you're thinking everything's going along all great. And then suddenly he flashes and turns cold and he don't have nothing to say. And he's acting all stupid. I had this boy, I went out with this fool. Okay, so I had a new car. Now I'm in college, but I'm working at a law firm. So like out of everybody, I was making the most money. So I go and I buy me this new Honda. And so, dude, we was going, I said, well, let's take my car, right? Because, I want any excuse to drive my car, right? So, and I had put like the little bra thing on the front. Those used to be popular. Put the little bra thing on the front. Had some little stripes on the side. It was cute. And so he sees the car, and I could see his expression change when he came outside and saw it, right? I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Everybody can't be me. So we go out to dinner and everything. He paid, everything was fine. But we're on our way back. I'm going to drop him off. And the apartment where he lived is like one way in and one way out. So you had to go, down this road, and there's like a fence on one side, and then the parking area, and then the apartments were above the parking area. So they had these big cement support posts. Do you know this fool reaches across from the passenger seat, grabs the steering wheel of my car, and turns it like to try to turn it into one of those cement pillars and smash my car, my brand new car. I didn't have the plates yet, and I wrestled that steering thing. Luckily, that's when I was working out at Gold, so I had some buff. I got that steering wheel and I wrestled it back from him. And I'm like, what are you trying to do? And like you could see the look on his face, total jealousy, just like this. I'd never seen an expression like that on anybody's face that wasn't like Ted Bundy or something. I hit the brakes. I told him to get out of my car. I threw his butt out and I backed into one of them parking spaces and I left, and that was it. That was it. I was done with his behind. You're not going to tear my stuff. So it's like, this is the kind of attitude, though, that they will have. And what I call it that Bruce Banner Hulk personality, just flash for no reason. Just start acting stupid just out of the blue. And so if you can deal with that, just people say, well, he might be bipolar. I don't care what he is. Bipolar, North Polar, South Polar. I don't care what he is. He got to go. Because you doing too much. You going, you all ziggy and zaggy and up and down and left and right and in and out. I can't do that. I need you to be the same. Okay, so we can be dependable, because that's how I'm going to be. And you all over the map and stuff, I don't know what box you going to jump out of next. See, I don't like them kind of surprises. And so you got to go. And I don't know, you guys that have that kind of energy, you don't think all the energy and time you put into that, you could be using that to do something creative. You could start you a YouTube channel. You could do videos. You could do a travel log. You could start writing books. You could learn needlepoint. You could learn kung fu. You can do whatever you want to do with that time that you're wasting worrying about what some man is doing that you shouldn't even be with in the first place. He's just wasting your time and your life. And my final point number 12 of 12 things that you might not really understand are red flags for the long term of this relationship, is dude is secretive and kind of dodgy. And what does that mean? That means when you ask him a question, and I learned this from dudes, I'd play this game back on the so hard. Okay, you ask him a question, right? Instead of he answering your question, he asks you a question about what you just asked him. Example. So where were you last night? I tried to call you. What time did you try to call? Oh, I caught up this and that. Oh, I don't know where I was. Just, around. Well, I was trying to reach you because blah, 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 blah. Well, what were you trying to reach me for that for? Okay, but see, now he's answering you. You all distracted, right? You don't notice the game. He never answered your question about where he was. He just filling your head. He just distracting you with question after question, taking you down a road that you really wasn't trying to go on, because he's not trying to answer that question. And instead of just being a man, so you don't need to be asking me where I was. I'm a grown-ass man. I was where I was at. Now, see, that's me. That's how I answer. But, are they like, when you coming back home? I'll be like, I'll be there when I get there. What you want from me? I'm not punching the clock. You ain't paying me. So I go when I go, and I come back when I get ready. That's got to have to be good enough. So these guys, though, you notice like they don't really talk to you. I mean, they're talking, but they tend to talk about nonsense. They'll talk about, social media stuff, or some past relationship, or some broad, this and that, or some dude that they know, and they talk about stuff. I mean, they never stop talking, but it's nothing that really lets you into his soul, into his mind, into his heart. It's not conversation where you're really getting to know this man at all. He just reciting some old stories that he could have read in the newspaper. You don't know what the deal is with that. And I don't know, it's just really odd. A lot of these guys do that. It's like this is part of the game. This is what they're taught to do, to distract women from really asking them probing questions. They don't want to do it. And a lot of them get very upset when you ask them stuff. They'll even tell you, get out of my head. I don't want you in my head like that, or stuff like that, to, get you to not ask them those kinds of deep questions. So I have always wondered, though, if you have a guy like that and he's always putting you off, giving you circular, long-winded, don't really tell you nothing answers to, to your questions, then who are you in the relationship with? See, that's the part that always had me curious. You're in this relationship with a man you don't really know, and he wants it that way. He doesn't want you to know him. He's put up all kinds of walls and boundaries. So it's like you're pouring out your soul. He knows you inside out. He knows all the dirt on you. But you ask him questions, he shuts down. And I'm telling you, now there are times when you first meet people, some of y'all be asking, like you Barbara Walters asking all kind of questions is way too personal. Okay, for that early in the relationship. I give the guys that. Some of you just don't know, your timing is off. But you've been dealing with a dude for a month or two. I mean, and he's still acting like that? You done slept with him and he's still acting like that? Some of y'all pregnant by him and he's still acting like that? Who is this man? You don't know nothing about him. I've heard of women even getting pregnant by men and all they know is his street name. They don't even know his real name. Don't know where he lives, where he works. You don't know nothing. You just know his representative. So these are the kind of things that I think, that you should be watching out for. I think, when guys are real secretive like that, you just don't know where that ends. What kind of secrets are you trying to keep and why? Why don't you want somebody to know who you really are? How are you supposed to really have a full frontal intimate relationship with someone who's dodgy like that? And sometime and iffy. So y'all need to think about these things. I'm gonna link in this video to part 1. I guess in part 1 I'll link to this one so you can, people, whichever one they come on first, they can find it. And I hope that this is helpful to you. If you are not a subscriber to this channel, please become one. Hit that subscription button and the instant notification bell. And if you have any questions that you want to ask or suggestions that you have for this channel, be sure to write me. I will put the email address down in the show description below. All right, this is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.